the proposition of coming back to know the whole truth about the We Charity issue is good for Quebec as well as for Canada. So we will vote in favor of it. And if there are consequences, the Liberals will have only themselves to blame. You know, the Canadians and the Quebecers are judges that the Liberals cannot appoint as they wish.
So the Bloc is ready to go. Canada could be plunged into a pandemic election over this Conservative motion to set up a special committee to study the We affair and other alleged spending issues. And while the Conservatives say they don't want an election, everyone keeps saying that, they have forged ahead with a motion that the government says, if passed, will show they've lost confidence in the government, and they've made it, the government, a confidence motion. So let's find out the Conservatives' position. Do they want to go to the polls? Finance critic Pierre Poilievre joins us from Ottawa. Look, Mr. Poilievre, I've spoken to a lot of Liberals. They say it's quite clear that your party doesn't have confidence in this government, that you wanted to set up an anti-corruption committee, which they said implies that you believe they're corrupt. Your own leader said, I don't have confidence in this government. If you don't have confidence in the government, say so and try to get an election. I don't know what the problem is.
There's no problem.
So you're happy to go to an election now?
We're happy to get to the truth. And that's why we've asked the Parliament to set up a committee to complete the investigations into the scandal, which saw the Prime Minister accept his family accept $500,000 in payoffs from an organization, and then have him turn around and pay that organization $500 million through what we now know as the We scandal.
So the Liberals say, yes, you've said that for months. There's been a committees, the Ethics Committee, the Finance Committee investigating. They've said, look, we'll set up another committee. There'll be 6 Liberals and 6 members of the opposition. There'll be a Liberal chair, so that means control of the committee will remain with the opposition. They say that'll do the job. What's wrong with that committee structure?
Only 2 things. One, their motion puts a Liberal in charge of the chairmanship, which means that he can just turn the meeting off whenever that we get too close to the truth, as Mr. Easter has been doing. And 2, they have not included in the motion a requirement the government unblack out all of the scandal documents that came back to us covered in black ink. But
on 2 things. The Conservatives proposed the Canada-China committee. That has a Liberal chair. The Conservatives accepted it. So there's precedent for your party to do that. And 2, the committee with 6 opposition leaders could ask for those documents to be unredacted and get them unredacted. So I'm just wondering if there's a way to get there anyway without plunging Canadians into an election.
There is, and it's very easy. We just need to set up a committee that has an opposition chair and that allows the opposition members to get access to the We scandal documents, which Trudeau has so far blacked out. No need for an election.
Okay, so the Liberals claim that the motion, and I've read it, that the Conservatives have put, gives that committee so much power that you can keep calling, the Prime Minister's already spent an hour at committee, the former Finance Minister, the Deputy Ministers, the Chief of Staff, many other ministers. They say this is just a way of ragging the puck and keep squeezing juice out of a lemon where there's not much left. If you got those blacked out documents unredacted, which is a fair request, and there was an opposition in charge of the committee, but there were some rules around some parameters, would the Conservatives accept that?
Of course.
Straight out.
That's what we proposed.
Do you believe this should be a confidence motion?
It is not a confidence motion.
Why not? If your leader says you have no confidence in the government, why shouldn't this be a confidence motion?
You asked about the motion, not about the leader's statement. The motion simply says, let's set up a committee to get to the bottom of the We scandal. That's nothing to do with confidence.
I understand that. But you know, and I know, parliamentary procedure allows a Prime Minister to designate anything a confidence motion. If your party's saying you have no confidence in the government, what's wrong with them calling it a confidence motion?
Because it's not one. The Prime Minister might call an election because he's terrified about what might come out in the We scandal. But that has nothing to do with this motion. The motion sets up a committee. There's never been an election called over the establishment of a committee. It's simply the Prime Minister making the decision that he and his office are bloody terrified about what's going to come out in this scandal. And so he's going to scurry off to the Governor General's office and call an election to avoid the truth coming out before Canadians go to the polls.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. It's all going to rest on the NDP, and we'll find out about this. Mr. Poilievre, always good to have you on the program, sir. I appreciate it very much.
Good to be with you.